Alright guys, I'm back this time with a review, and it's for what you see in front of you, D-Arts Blastoise, or Camex, however you pronounce the Japanese name. Now, you see the box in front of you, an empty box of course, because I've taken it out and displayed it, but it's a really nice looking box in my opinion. Very cool artwork, black and white Blastoise. You can see through it on 3 different sides, so you can see them displayed in there. And it's very cool. It looks good with just him being in the box. Now, this is my second D-Arts figure. I've also owned a, well, technically third, I guess. I owned a D-Arts Beelzemon, and for a short period of time, I owned a D-Arts Omnimon or Omegamon. Now, I didn't know about the size of this guy, you know? I had only real experience handling a D-Arts was the Beelzemon, and he was small, flimsy, and in my opinion, just not that great of a figure. Now, I love Blastoise. I'm a huge fan of Pokemon, and especially, you know, G1, Gen 1, Gen 2 Pokemon. Just the classic stuff that just fills you with nostalgia. And Blastoise was always my favorite. And whose favorite wasn't Blastoise? You know, he's an awesome giant turtle with cannons on his back. It just doesn't get cooler than that for classic Pokemon. But I wanted him to be a nice, big, bulky figure, and I was worried he was going to be small, thinner than he should be, you know, flimsy. But I got this box and realized that thing's just as thick as it is wide. You know, this is a bulky figure. This is a really nice figure. So, let's see him here. This is D-Arts Blastoise. And I tell you what, he looks good. Just right out of the box, you can't complain about anything. He is just looking amazing right there. They got the colors perfect. They got just the mold absolutely perfect. You can see he's thick. He's solid. Like, he's not a lightweight toy at all. He is, you know, heavy and good. The paint application is just absolutely gorgeous. I love every bit of it. You can see the shading on his shell. Everything here is just, it's great. Now, the articulation, you know, it is an articulated figure, as all the D-Arts are. But you got to understand, with the Blastoise, it's not going to be as articulated as something like a Charizard or a Mewtwo. You know, smaller, or not smaller necessarily, but thinner Pokemon that were more meant for speed. Blastoise is just a powerhouse tank here, so he's not going to move a whole lot. You do, however, get a little bit of motion out of his feet here, and all of his toes are articulated. I don't know how well you can see those moving, but all of them are articulated, and you can get a little movement out of this side to side, just to get a ideal pose there. Now, you're supposed to be able to move this a little bit up and down, but there's nothing major there that you can really move. Now, the same for this leg, of course. So you can get him standing however you'd like. Now, occasionally, because there is a general lack of articulation on his legs and stuff, it's a little difficult to get him in a good standing pose where, you know, he stands up and you can really see him. Like right now, just because I'm doing this for video purposes, real quick, it's a little difficult to get him, you know, in a good flat pose. But also, his tail is articulated, goes from side to side. And then you have his arms. They go 360 degrees around, and you can see this joint right here. They go in and out, and it also, if you can get this to stop, it also turns there. Actually, I guess, there we go. Turns right there. And goes in and out, which I think I already said. Then all 3 of his claws are articulated. Let's see if you can see this well. There you go. They just move a little bit, but it is a nice little feature that he's got that just gives him that little bit more expression. Now, since I was messing with this, his legs got messed up a little bit, but oh well. His mouth opens. See, they got the tongue colored in there. Yet again, perfect color. Looks great. And it opens all that way, and it shuts. Now, the neck here is articulated. You can spin his head all the way around. You can move it up and down and to the side, anywhere you want it to go. So the neck articulation is probably the most largest range of articulation anything on this figure has. Not to say the arms are bad at all, though. The cannons back here, they move all around. So pretty much anywhere you want to aim the cannons, you can get them aimed to. Now, my one and only complaint about this figure is that they don't have a mechanism where you can remove the cannons, which you actually can. You can get those popped out of there. But you can't close this shell. I think that would have been really cool if they would have got a mechanism working where you could close his shell and it's just Blastoise without his cannons out, like we often seen him in the show or in the games. I thought that would have been really cool. That's my only real complaint about this figure at all, is that they didn't do that. Now, when it comes to special features, the only real accessories that you get are these hydro pump cannons. So you can clip these in to both of his cannons, and now Blastoise is shooting hydro pump at whatever other D-Arts you want to set him up against. And that's not flimsy, it's just my fault that I didn't have his legs set up where he could easily stand. But he can in fact stand and have the hydro pump cannons in at the same time. There we go. And yet again, you can aim those in whatever direction you would like to aim them in. They go all over. I typically display mine without the hydro pump cannons though. I've just been keeping those in the box. You also get a stand here in the shape of a Pokeball, which is pretty cool, nice design. And he can stand on it. There's no real use for it, but it looks cool. And it came with the other D-Arts. You also get a actual stand here. I think mine is still in the plastic, if you can make that out. And it basically grips something. You know, Blastoise, like I said, isn't a small figure at all, and there's nowhere really that he needs help standing or anywhere to grip that stand to. Now, I think they included it just for the fact that they've included it with all of the other Pokemon D-Arts, but I don't know. But yeah, you get that stand as well, so that actually may be helpful for some other model kit or figure that you have that could utilize that stand better. So it was a nice inclusion regardless. So yeah, overall, I think it's an outstanding figure. Some people are going to have gripes and complaints about the lack of articulation, but let's be honest and look at Blastoise's design. You're not going to get a wide range of articulation there, no matter what you do, if you want to keep the figure true to its original form. So I have absolutely no complaints for the figure, aside from the closing shell, which I can get over because he just looks so good. He looks absolutely incredible. No matter how you pose him, any way you get him standing, and he looks great on a shelf. This really made me want to get the other Pokemon D-Arts. I definitely wish I would have gotten Mewtwo and Charizard. I know they're going to be reissuing Mewtwo, but I'm going to wait until I have a little more money to maybe try to get a hold of him, despite the fact that it'll probably be more expensive, but oh well. But yeah, that is D-Arts Blastoise. So I hope you liked the video, and I hope it helped you out in your decision on if you want to get him or not. I would 100% recommend him. So thanks a lot for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time.